and Vinnie. 3-minute guitar tips.
Hello everyone, Vinnie here and welcome to this episode of Pete and Vinnie 3-minute guitar tips. So today I'm going to show you how to set up a dual delay sound using 2 delay pedals. Right, so before we start, I just wanted to say that this sound was made famous by the amazing Timmons. Now obviously there's loads of other players that use a dual delay sound, but this specific setup is the famous Timmons dual delay sound. So this is how it sounds. So as you can see, it has a really interesting rhythm to it. Check out how nice just a few chords sound. So the first thing we need to set up a dual delay sound is 2 delays plugged in series. That means that the first delay is plugged into the second delay and then it goes into the amp. Now that is really important because then the repeats of the first delay are going to go into the second one and then be repeated again. And that is what creates this lush and wonderful cascading delay sound. Now for this demo I'm going to be using 2 simple delay pedals. The first one is the TC Flashback and the second one is my Immerse Reverb on its delay setting. You can use any 2 pedals for this. So first of all, in general, we want both delays to have about 2 or 3 repeats, okay? So the feedback knob should be quite low. I would say around 9 o'clock for most pedals. And also the level or the volume of your delay shouldn't be too intrusive, okay? So we want the guitar to be clearly louder than your delay sound. Okay, so now let's begin. We're gonna set up the first delay to 500 milliseconds, okay? That is the same as 2 repeats per second. This is how it sounds. The easiest way to do this is to open up a metronome on Google, set it to 120 BPM, and make sure you have the repeats on top of the beats, like this. So as I've just done, you can just play any muted thing on top of the beat, and then you play with your delay time knob until all the repeats fall exactly on the beat, on the next beats as well. Okay, so now we're going to get the second delay, the one last in the chain, and set it to around 375 milliseconds. So at this point you can do that same metronome trick and set the metronome to 160 BPM. That will work fine, but I prefer to just eyeball it until I get the right rhythm. So basically we want a rhythm that sounds roughly like this. Okay, so I've turned on my second delay now and I'm going to try to find that rhythm. So I'm not there yet. Oh, so we're getting there now. I think that's it. Let's try a bit more. No, that's too much. Go back a bit. There you go. So when you find this rhythm, you know your setup is done. So obviously if any of your pedals are digital, you can just input the tempo on them, and you can also very easily get this sound on Logic, like this. Alright, so check it out guys, this is pretty easy. I'm gonna just open a delay plugin here. I'm gonna use the tape delay just because I like it. So there you go. And then first thing you need to do is just untick the tempo sync button here so you can move the delay time. So as you can see, it already went to 500 milliseconds for the first delay, so that's pretty perfect. And bring the dry signal all the way up. Feedback, we can bring it down to 12, a little bit lower, and the wet around 10 should be fine, 10%. Then you open a second tape delay. There you go. Untick the tempo sync again, and you can type in 375 for that one. That's your second delay. Again, I'm going to bring the feedback down to 12, dry all the way up, and the wet around 10 should be fine. Then if you play anything, this is what you get. Perfect. So this kind of sound works really well from clean chords all the way to fully distorted solos. So now, just get lost in your playing. So there you go, guys. Thank you for watching this episode of Pete and Vinnie 3-minute guitar tips. Now, if you enjoyed this video or if it helped you in any way, please consider subscribing to the channel. And also, if you managed to use this tip and if it inspired your playing in any way, please let me know how it went in the comment section. See ya!
3-minute guitar tips.